Welcome back. President Trump frustrated with NATO allies this morning, saying that the United States is treated unfairly and that the U.S. pays disproportionately compared to other countries. This after the president ordered a wave of powerful strikes last night on Iran, responding to the IRGC's attacks on commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz over the last 36 hours. Joining me now is Georgia Congressman Richard McCormick. He sits on the Armed Services Committee and has served in both the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps. Congressman, thanks so much for your service. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you too, Maria.
What do you want to say about where we are in this war after the president's comments that the ceasefire is over? Do you think we can count on NATO allies in this conflict as the conflict with Iran intensifies?
They certainly haven't shown any interest up to this point. I happen to be a NATO parliamentarian. They want to please us. They want to be good stewards, but they're very scared to get involved. This is typical Europe approach to any sort of war or inclusion. But I will say this, the United States has to finish this. We have to be strong. Half measures will never do it, right? When you look at a Tehran regime that does not have nearly a fraction of the power we have, we should be participating in Clausewitzian warfare, not tit for tat, not for incommensurate amounts. We should be dominating them and bringing them to their knees. I don't see any way that this regime, who's done nothing but defiant, never been positive toward a peace process, can be dealt with. We need regime change in the worst way, or our kids will be dealing with this.
Well, when you say finish this, and I know that a lot of people have said that, finish the job, what specifically do you mean? I mean, the president has said many times that Iran has been obliterated. What more does the U.S. need to do to finish the job, in your view?
Unconditional surrender, regime change. If we don't have that, this regime has done nothing but threaten us, nothing but kill Americans. 40 attacks through their proxies, 1,000 Americans dead. They've never said anything other than to destroy the great Satan, which they view us as. We will never have peace with this regime. We'll never have safety with this regime. We'll never have passages in the Straits of Hormuz unless we accommodate them. This regime has got to go.
Yeah, okay, great points all around. Meanwhile, from a congressional level, what do you expect in terms of your work on this and your colleagues? And you've got only 8 legislative days left on the House calendar before the August recess, and you've got a lot to do. House Speaker Mike Johnson told me the House wants to pass a third reconciliation bill, which would include the Save America Act. He spoke with me on Sunday Morning Futures 2 weeks ago. Here's what he said.
We passed it 3 times in the House already. We're going to pass it again. And this time we're going to try to put it on a reconciliation bill. And the reason that's so important, Maria, as you know, is it prevents the necessity of 60 votes in the Senate. The Democrats want no part of this. And remember, this is very basic stuff. We're just going to make sure you have to have proof of citizenship to register to vote, and then show an ID when you turn out at the ballot box. These are 90-10 public opinion issues, and more than 70% of Democrats want to do it, but not the Democrats in the House and Senate. And so we've got to go around them. And I told Anna Paulina Luna and a couple other colleagues, I said, it makes no sense for us to shut down our good work in the House just because Senate Democrats refuse to do the people's will. We've got a lot more to do. We've got to keep it going.
So Congressman, where does all of this stand? I mean, look, outgoing Senator Tom Tillis called the Speaker's idea for reconciliation, quote unquote, cute. Do you believe a bill like this would pass the Senate? And what about the House right now in terms of what you can get done with this limited time left before the recess?
The Senate has been very negative towards this, which just baffles me. Put them on record. Make them vote. Let's see the president come full force against those people who are outliers, people against the people's will. I would love to see the president get underway and really put some pressure on people in Congress and in the Senate to do the right thing. But we have to keep moving. I don't think just not voting is going to get this done. I think also the parliamentarian needs to be put on notice. The fact we should only need a majority, a simple majority to pass a budget anyways, because that's our one constitutional responsibility. It should not be a filibuster thing. That should be for all other laws if you want to have that checks and balances, but not for the budget. Every year we're required to pass a budget. And I hate the fact that they threaten a shutdown every single year and in record amounts of time for the last 2 years.
Well, they left without a budget. I mean, you know, is that realistic that we're going to see a budget when you all come back?
Well, that's the gist. I mean, we talked to the speaker. Speaker's optimistic, but he needs to have the president involved, put pressure on those members who are outliers, and to get this across the finish line. But the Senate's not giving us positive references at all. They seem very negative towards this process, and I don't know where that puts us. Some people say we're going to have a CR. That wouldn't be horrible since it's our CR rather than Nancy Pelosi's CR finally. But one way or another, we got to get this to the floor and get voted on and put those members on notice who are getting in the way.
Well, what about the NDAA and what about the Pentagon supplemental? I mean, you're on armed services. We know that this war is heightening now. What is your stance in terms of getting that done in that 8 days? Because it feels like if you can get the NDAA done and the defense money done, that's a victory at this point.
Well, anybody who's voting against the rule in the NDA, who's a Republican, should be called out by the president. The president has great leverage. I don't see why Republicans would vote against funding the military, funding the most fundamental part of the United States government, which is protecting the people and supporting our soldiers and our sailors and our Marines. It's extremely important. We've never not done it before. Let's get it done.
And yet there are concerns over another government shutdown. The House abruptly left Washington last week. There was the rebellion by Republicans who are refusing to vote for any legislation until the Senate passes the Save America Act. We know that Anna Paulina Luna stopped down business in the House. Will the House pass any appropriations bills before the government funding lapses on October 1st?
Well, I'd sure like to think so, but once again, I think the president's going to have to get involved. I don't like the fact that he has to call individual members to get them to do their job. I think he needs to put his pressure on them, and he can, and he has before gotten involved with those individuals behind closed doors. But if you're obstructing the congressional business because you're not getting your way, that's not going to get the job done. Let's be realistic. We can get this done if we just come together. This is the most united the Republicans have ever been. With a 2-vote majority still passing bills, that's phenomenal. Let's keep on doing our job, keep on being encouraging where people don't. Let's have the president involved. That's what he's been really good at.
All right, we will be watching that. Congressman, thanks very much. Congressman Richard McCormick, we will see you soon. Thank you, sir.